2 Samuel Chapter 21. And there was a famine in the days of David for 3 years, year after year, and David inquired of Jehovah. And Jehovah said, It is because of Saul and because of his house of bloodshed, for he put those Gibeonites to death. So the king called for the Gibeonites and spoke to them. Now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel but were of the remnant of the Amorites, and the children of Israel had sworn to them. But Saul had sought to slay them in his zeal for the children of Israel and Judah. And David said to the Gibeonites, What shall I do for you? And how shall I make expiation that you may bless the inheritance of Jehovah? And the Gibeonites said to him, It is not a matter of silver or gold between us and Saul and his house, and it is not for us to put any man to death in Israel. And he said, Whatever you say I will do for you. Then they said to the king, The man who consumed us and who made plans against us to destroy us so that we would not remain within any of the territory of Israel. Let 7 men from among his sons be given to us, and we will hang them unto Jehovah in Gibeah of Saul, the chosen of Jehovah. And the king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the oath of Jehovah that was between them, between David and Jonathan the son of Saul. So the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah the daughter of Aiah, whom she bore to Saul, Armoni and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Merab the daughter of Saul, whom she bore to Adriel the son of Barzillai the Mahalathite. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites. And they hanged them on the mountain before Jehovah, and the 7 perished together. And they were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first days, at the beginning of the barley harvest. And Rizpah the daughter of Aiah took sackcloth and spread it on a rock for herself, from the beginning of harvest until rain from heaven fell on their bodies, and she did not allow the birds of heaven to come upon them by day or the beasts of the field by night. And it was told David what Rizpah the daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, had done. And David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from the men of Jabesh Gilead, who had stolen them from the open square of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them on the day when the Philistines slew Saul in Gilboa. So he brought up the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from there, and they gathered the bones of those who had been hanged. And they buried the bones of Saul and of Jonathan his son in the land of Benjamin in Zelah, in the grave of Kish his father, and they did all that the king had commanded. And God responded to the entreaty for the land after that. And again the Philistines were at war with Israel, and David went down, and his servants with him, and fought with the Philistines. And David became faint. And Ishbi-benob, who was one of the children of the giant and whose spear weighed 300 shekels of brass, was girded with new weapons, and he intended to slay David. But Abishai the son of Zeruiah helped him and struck down the Philistine and killed him. Then David's men swore to him, saying, You shall not go forth with us again into battle, lest you quench the lamp of Israel. Then after this there was war again with the Philistines at Gob, and Sibbecai the Hushathite slew Saph, who was one of the children of the giant. And there was war with the Philistines, again at Gob, and Elhanan the son of Jeroregim, the Bethlehemite, slew Goliath the Gittite, the shaft of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. And again there was war at Gath, where there was a man of great stature, who had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, 24 in number, and he also had been born to the giant. And he defied Israel, and Jonathan the son of Shimei, David's brother, slew him. These 4 had been born to the giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hands of his servants. 2 Samuel Chapter 22. And David spoke the words of this song to Jehovah on the day when Jehovah delivered him from the hand of all his enemies and from the hand of Saul. And he said, Jehovah is my crag and my fortress and my deliverer. My God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high retreat and my refuge, my Savior, you save me from violence. I called upon Jehovah, who is worthy of praise, and from my enemies I was saved. For the waves of death encompassed me, the torrents of destruction assailed me. The cords of Sheol surrounded me, the snares of death confronted me. In my distress I called upon Jehovah and called to my God. And he heard my voice from his temple, and my cry came to his ears. Then the earth shook and quaked, and the foundations of the heavens trembled and shook about, for he was furious. Smoke went up from his nostrils, and fire from his mouth devoured, coals blazed forth from him. He bowed the heavens down and descended, and deep darkness was under his feet. He rode upon a cherub and did fly, he was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness pavilions around him, dark water clouds, thick clouds of the skies. Out of the brightness before him fiery coals were kindled. Jehovah thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice. And he sent forth arrows and scattered my enemies, lightning bolts, and discomfited them. The channels of the sea were seen, the foundations of the habitable land were laid bare, by the rebuke of Jehovah, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. He reached forth from on high, he took me, he drew me out of great waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from those who hate me, for they were too mighty for me. They confronted me in the day of my calamity, but Jehovah became my support. He brought me forth to a place broad and free, he rescued me, for he took delight in me. Jehovah has recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands he has repaid me. For I have kept the ways of Jehovah and have not acted wickedly by turning away from my God. For all his judgments were before me, and as for his statutes, I did not turn away from them. I was perfect toward him, and I kept myself from my iniquity. Therefore Jehovah recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to my cleanness in his sight. With the faithful you show yourself faithful, with the perfect man you show yourself perfect. With the pure you show yourself pure, and with the perverse you show yourself contrary. And you save the afflicted people, but your eyes are upon the haughty that you may bring them down. For you are my lamp, O Jehovah. And Jehovah lights up my darkness. For by you I can run up against a troop, by my God I can leap over a wall. As for God, his way is perfect, the word of Jehovah is tried. He is a shield to all who take refuge in him. For who is God other than Jehovah, and who is a rock except our God? God is my strong fortress, and he makes my way perfect. He makes my feet like hinds' feet and sets me on my high places. He teaches my hands to wage war so that my arms may bend a bronze bow. And you have given me the shield of your salvation, and your condescending gentleness has made me great. You have broadened the places of my steps under me, and my feet have not slipped. I pursued my enemies and destroyed them, and I did not turn back until they were consumed. And I devoured them and shattered them, so that they did not rise up, indeed, they have fallen under my feet. And you girded me with strength for war, you brought down under me those who rose up against me. You also made my enemies turn their back to me, and I annihilated those who hated me. They looked, but there was no one to save them, they looked to Jehovah, but he did not answer them. Then I beat them like the dust of the earth, I pounded them, I stamped them, like the mud of the streets. And you rescued me from the strivings of my people, you have kept me as the head of the nations, a people whom I have not known serves me. Foreigners come cringing to me, at the mere hearing of a report, they obey me. Foreigners are discouraged and come quaking out of their fortresses. Jehovah lives, and blessed be my rock, and exalted be God, the rock of my salvation. The God who executes vengeance for me and brings down peoples under me. And who brings me forth from my enemies. Yes, you exalted me above those who rise up against me, from the violent man you delivered me. Therefore I give thanks to you among the nations, O Jehovah, and I sing psalms to your name. It is he who magnifies salvation to his king and executes loving kindness to his anointed, to David and to his seed forever.